Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. It's Friday. I had to drop my pupper off at the hospital this morning. Well, at the doctor's office. He had to have some minor procedures, some teeth pulled, and some mass removal from his arm, and all sorts of stuff. So he's okay. And I'm getting ready for a weekend of, well, we have softball tomorrow and maybe some games, and I've got work to do and probably some work in here. I don't know. But I wanted to talk about, I guess, maybe this object. Maybe not necessarily the object, but the process of making, or the reasons to make, right? I've talked in the past about what making means to me, like personally, right? Why I enjoy making things. But I think it's something that can be reiterated because there are times when I forget. I forget that I have the ability to create solutions. And that's the thing. So if you ask most, especially software people, like what is making, they'll tell you that making is solving a problem. And that's true, but I've often struggled with that terminology. I've often struggled, especially like serial entrepreneurs who use that like it's some sort of, well, you just figure out a problem that you can solve and then you solve it and then you sell the solution. And that's true, but it also for me, I heard, well, I have to find a pain point. And a pain point might mean something different to you than it does to me. Like that pain point might be that you don't have access to Pokemon cards, and so, or the problem that needs solving is you don't have any Pokemon cards, and so how do I create a solution for you to get Pokemon cards, right? That's a stupid example, but here is an object that I created yesterday on a whim. It has a purpose for me personally, but it could be a completely different object based on how it's oriented for you or for anybody else. If you know what it is, then it's obvious, right? This object is inspired by going to a pizza place, and they set the little metal stand on the table, and then they put the pizza on top of the little metal stand. That's what this is. That's literally, I copied that design in wood, in specifically cherry and poplar. So this is a cherry version of that pizza place's little cooling stand. That is not the purpose for this piece. This will not sit on my dining room table being a pizza stand. What this actually is going to be used for is right here. I'm going to set it right here. I will be able to have board game components like laid out as if I'm playing the game, and I'll be able to put the box on here, and I'll be able to take a really nice picture for a thumbnail from above, so the box looks like it's kind of hovering over everything, and it should cast some nice shadows, and it'll look interesting. That's it. Like, that's what this is for. And this could have been an upside down cup. It could have been a cardboard box that I already have. It could have been almost anything that's smaller than the box I intend to set down. But instead, I created this weirdly whatever shape because I was inspired in the moment. I thought, I'm going to make one of those, and I'm going to be able to use it when I'm shooting board game content. I'll be able to set it down and have a platform to put things on and to show you. When I'm teaching, when I do the video for Earth, I haven't filmed it yet, but I'll be able to put the off camera. I'll have it set up with the. There's a board that has some common goals, and that I can just bring it in and set it down, and it'll take front and center, and I can show you stuff. Like I can do little example things like that, and it'll be a useful tool. and it'll be in a shape that maybe this is better than setting a bucket here. Maybe the setting something solid like a can of varnish would mean that it mars the pieces, or I have to move stuff out of the way, whereas the slim profile of these little legs, I can fit it around components or what. I don't know. I just know that I had a problem. I wanted to be able to bring something closer to the camera for a little bit of depth, and I knew I was just going to make something. And I'd recently gone to a pizza place that had a stainless steel version of this, and I thought that I'm just going to make that. It'll be an interesting thing to make. I have tons and tons and tons of pieces of scrap that are roughly, an inch by whatever, in very long pieces, very short. So I have lots of little bits of wood like this to make something. So I just did it. I just came down here and did it. Now this is something for Roland. This is something she's making for her dorm room. She's moving soon to college, so she asked me to help her make she found these little boxes, and so this has nothing to do with this. But the point is, this object is an object I created to solve a problem, and this is a solved problem, right? There's a lot of ways to solve this problem. It doesn't involve owning a shop full of tools and technical knowledge to make something like this. This is not the needed piece. But it is going to become the piece. And what I'm trying to say here is that making isn't really about solving problems for me. Usually, for me, it's about exploring curiosities, my curiosities, things that interest me. And in this particular case, this object interested me, and I wanted to try to make one. It had that was it. That's the story, is why this piece exists. Curiosity. And so everything that I do stems from a point of curiosity. Everything I get excited about stems from a point of curiosity. And exploring that is why I make things. And I'm not just talking about physical objects here, but my software, my code, like that is, I'm exploring different ways of doing things. I'm exploring new ways of doing things. I'm exploring exciting things. And I'm indulging my curiosities. And I think that's very important for me. And probably a lot of you. I don't know. And maybe that's what is happening on inside of me with the gaming channel revival. Maybe I'm exploring curiosities. Or maybe I'm just tired of not doing it. I don't know. But I'm having fun. Enjoying myself. Playing lots of games with Malia. And enjoying having conversations about games again. Kind of missed that. So, what do you got going on this weekend? Like I said, I've got a softball game tomorrow. I've got some work. I'm trying to get caught back up with work on the side project. I had like 3 or 4 really light months in a row, and I feel really bad about it. So I really need to get back to work on that project. And board games, and probably some pickleball, and just spending time with the kids. This is the last week that my oldest will stay with me before heading to college, so might go shopping or something. I don't know yet. Let me know what you got going on. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know sounds smart is Ruritanian. It is an adjective meaning anything related to romantic adventure or its environment. The two lovers found Barbados to be Ruritanian paradise. Ruritanian. Ruritanian. That's a cute word. I've never heard that before. Huh. And for those asking, yesterday's word was rumination, and I talked about how I am in a constant state of rumination.